Okay, so we've already covered general data privacy regulations, or GDPR, and we already talked through the California Consumer Privacy Act, or CCPA. Let's get into the Algorithmic Accountability Act of 2019. Now, this act is still a new bill proposal put out in April of 2019, and this proposal really came on the heels of a couple fairly well-known issues that occurred with certain technology companies. Specifically, an issue with Facebook, where there were claims that they had violated the Fair Housing Act because the algorithms that were being used to present ads were targeting or avoiding certain groups of people based on minority status, gender, or even whether or not they had children in the house when they were serving up ads around rentals or real estate purchases. The other big one that was happening at the time and that was referenced when this act came out was an issue with Amazon that had been using an AI-based set of algorithms to look at candidate resumes and to propose up the most suited candidates for roles. And what was found was this AI was preferring male candidates, most likely because it had been trained on 10 years of past data, which was representative of the gender gap that exists within the technology fields. So this algorithm was stating that males may be better suited for certain technology roles, such as software engineering, because the past data had led the algorithm to lead that way. Now, Amazon did try to create some more gender neutrality, but because they couldn't guarantee that the algorithm wouldn't still introduce discriminatory effects, it was really purported to be a potentially harmful and high-risk algorithm because of the impact it could have on people's abilities to receive certain types of jobs. So given these things happening, the act was proposed that would allow the Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, now that's another regulating body that really tries to protect consumers. It would allow them to create regulations and require companies to do impact assessments on any high-risk automated decision systems such as the Facebook or Amazon examples, as well as others. And those assessments would need to cover a few different areas. It'd need to go through privacy, security, and accuracy. And it also needs to go deep into the ideas of fairness, bias, and discrimination on the outcomes of these algorithms and of these decisions. So what it would do would have any US company that has over 1 million customers or consumer devices, or any company that serves as a data broker. Now that's a company that just buys and sells data, but any data broker company that has more than $50 million in annual gross revenue, it would require those companies to conduct impact assessments. And based on the results of those impact assessments, the companies would have to correct any issues that they discovered during it. And not only that, but it did also state that companies would not be allowed to undertake any of the prohibited acts, even if the consumer or individual said that it was okay to do so. So even if they said, go ahead, company, use my data, this act would say, not okay to do it, even if they say that it's all right. This act is still in the early stages. It will likely come about in the relatively near future, but Congress does move slowly. It's also just one piece of what will be likely many more regulations and laws. So there are various other laws being proposed at the time right now. Specifically, there are ones around the spread of disinformation. There are ones around how to ensure that companies aren't using manipulative design practices, trying to convince individuals to give up their data. And there's even some around specifically banning particular types of algorithms. So lots more to come. This is just one of many potentially proposed or already proposed bills being put out there.